It's pretty big and it's come out really well. It's come out lovely, actually. But right at the end, there is going to be a few bloopers and some behind the scenes footage. I did make a few mistakes on this one, so stay tuned right to the end because that's when you're going to see them. Hello everyone, today is going to be a creative day. Let's go ahead and make something. So yesterday, which was the 9th of Feb, we hit 50,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? Yep, I'm absolutely chuffed. So today is a creative day. We're going to be celebrating by making a big sign, okay? We've got the laser behind us. So here it is. It's the Creality Falcon 2 Pro, and this is the machine that we're going to be using today. What we are doing is making a big subscribe sign. We are going to be making this sign huge. It's going to be 1 meter long. It's going to be about 200 high. It's going to be made in layers. We're going to be cutting through 12 mil thick material, 12 mil thick MDF and 6 mil, spraying them all up, gluing them all together, and using this beast, okay? It's a 60-watt machine. It's fantastic. Loads of features on it. It's got a camera. It's got loads of other bits and pieces. But today is not about showing you all the features. We're just going to be using it, showing you what it can do, and ultimately making this project together. So without further ado, let's get this project on the go. Okay, so I'm using 12 mil at the moment, 12 mil MDF to make 3 blanks. These blanks will be for the sign base or the sign background. Remember, we're going to have 12 mil on the back and 6 mil on the front as the lettering. And I just thought 12 mil was the perfect thickness, not too thick, not too thin. 6 mil is for the lettering and 12 mil is for the background base. So let's bring them to the laser. So let's go ahead and load a blank into the machine. Okay, so there is my file. I made this all on Lightburn. I imported a YouTube logo to make the logo at the front, and everything else was just made in Lightburn. I've split it into 3, and each section is around 350 long by about 250 high. Okay, so we're just going to do one section at a time. So the blue is going to be the engraving, just so when I cut the letters out, I've got something to follow, and the blue is also the cutout. The black is the external cutouts. Okay, so here is the outline of the first piece, and we're just simply going to frame it to make sure the piece is in the right position. Okay, so now time to close up. It won't work unless we close the lid, turn the air purifier on. Again, this thing is just amazing. You can't smell anything outside. It's just really good. Okay, so this machine is pretty powerful. This is the most powerful Falcon 2 they do, I believe. It's 60 watts in power, which is just unbelievable, really. It's kind of like CO2 laser territory. Okay, another one done. Absolutely spot on. Lovely. Look at that. Nice and crisp. 12 mil, no problem whatsoever. And we've got that engraving there, so when we spray, we will still see the lines, so we can then glue the top layer lettering on top and have something to go by. Okay, last of the 12 mil. Okay, lovely. Last base done, last background done. And let's see how that turned out. I just love these things. They are so versatile, so much fun. Basically, you've got your own robot cutting your components for you, haven't you? Okay, so there we go. There's our third piece of the background, the base. So what we need to do now is take these into the workshop side. And the idea is I glue these together with mitre bond. Okay, so we got one. This is the second piece, that is the third piece, and we're going to glue them together, and that's what they look like. So the idea is we'll glue this together with some mitre bond, and then we'll put a little bit of filler over the joints, so when it comes to spraying we don't see those joints. So before we get started on the filler, let's go ahead and load up the 6mm to start cutting the lettering. Alright, so let's delete the outline like so, and we're going to change this to black because that is our cut setting. Instead of doing 8 passes, we're going to do 4, and that is it. Let's press home, and then we will frame. Perfect, I think we can go for that. Okay. Let's let that do its thing, and we'll go and start gluing these pieces together. So here we are with our sign. Before we glue them together, I'm going to put a couple of strips underneath there and there, so we don't glue this accidentally down to the board below. So it's as simple as spraying one side. We're going to put the liquid parts on the other side. Hold it for about 5 seconds. And there you go, one glued together, nice and strong. But before we start moving it around, I can put a little bit of filler on the joints. Okay, got a bit of ready mix filler. Okay, so that's going to take a while to dry. Okay, so now the filler's all dry, we can give this sign a little whiz with P240. Let's go with the orbital sander. Okay, so I'm not going to worry too much about the joints because when it gets sprayed, I can always fill it again. And I'm not too worried about the filler filling these little lines. Again, I'll be able to see those letters quite clearly when it comes to glue these on. We have all the letters, I've sanded it back. Let's give it a little dry run just to make sure I've got everything right before I start spraying and gluing. So there we go, we've got our 3D sign going on there. All we need to do is spray the base, spray the letters, glue it on, and that should be fine. So what we can do is carry this in, and I'm going to use my airless sprayer. Okay, I'm already set up here with the whites in the machine, and I can just get rid of all the letters, put them there, and then I can put my sign just there. Right, so I've got my sign here ready to spray in the spray booth. I'm going to aim to get it solid today. 3 coats is what I think it's going to take. I'm going to also try and hit the black edge to make it solid all the way around, see how that goes. Whilst I'm spraying and it's drying and I'm getting my coats on, we can start spraying those letters red with the aerosol can. Yeah, I'm going to show you what I'm using at the moment. To be honest, you can use anything. You can roller it on, you can use any sprayer, any means you like to get the paint on. On the letters, I'm using an aerosol can, which is this, because I wanted the exact red and I've only got a tiny amount to do. And because I've always got white set up in the machine, I've decided just to use my yellow sprayer. Let's spin it around. So there we go, we've got our first coat on, we've got those edges nice and solid. Okay, it is going to soak in, we're going to need to rub this down and sand it back before we get our second coat on. Okay, now that it's doing its thing and drying, let's move on and start spraying the letters. So the YouTube red apparently is FF with 4 zeros, and it's called Pure Red. Okay, so this is what I went for, and I found a tin of aerosol can. So make sure that you have a mask on. So these are going to take a few hits by the looks of it. I'm not rushing it, I'm just going to do it in layers. Okay, leave that 10 minutes, come back and do another one. Okay, so that's had time to soak in. Let's go ahead and spray once more. It really is soaking in like a sponge. So this is what we've got after 3 coats of the red and 1 coat of the white. I put the white on really heavy. So I'm going to give them a little tickle with P240, orbital on here, and probably the hand sandpaper on here. Okay, so Sean's working in the corner, so that's the other noise. Let's go ahead and sand these up. That is going to be perfect now for the second, possibly the third coat. I'm not going to touch the edges. They're just going to get hit again with the spray. Make the most of this last bit of the tin, about a quarter left. Definitely going to use a roller next time. So I think that is going to be plenty. Give it a couple of hours, we'll come back, we'll be able to assemble all these parts and ultimately finish the sign off. Woohoo! Cutting, sanding, painting done. Let the fun begin. Right guys, so I just wanted to show this before the video ends. It's a place called JLCMC. It's kind of like an online supermarket for your projects. Any project that you've got on and any part that you might need, you'll probably find it here. I actually bought a set of these, 8 of these extra strong caster wheels. The reason I bought them from here is because of the detail that they supply you with. So here is a spec sheet basically of what you're looking for. And then if we click on 3D model, the best part about this website really is that you can pan this around, okay? Have a look at what you're buying in any aspect. It's not like Amazon where you just get 3 dodgy pictures. It's got all the details that you might need along with measurements, so you can just click on one of these and click on the part. It will tell you the measurement of anything you click on. So if you do register, you're going to get $60 worth of coupons and a monthly coupon also. So well worth checking out if you're looking for any parts. And to do with hobby, whether you're professional or DIY, it's JLCMC. So this is what we've got. The sign came out really well, really solid. The edges are also really solid. Got a couple of lines there where I made a mistake with the laser, but you would have known that unless I told you. And yeah, really happy with the way this came out and the way it got painted. Okay guys, before I start, have a look at that sign over there, 50,000 subscribers. So this video is all about celebrating that and getting that to that milestone. But if you are enjoying our content and you do think it's worthwhile, feel free to become a member, a paid member, and contribute and put something towards the channel. So yeah, thank you very much. So with that being said, I'm actually just going to use PVA and I'm just going to glue them down using my engraved letters on the actual board, hence the reason I've engraved them in as a guide. So for example, there is my shape. I'm just going to line it up, place it and leave it. So I'm just simply going to place a little tiny bit of glue all the way around each shape, put it in place, make sure it's lined up, leave it there for an hour or two, and that should be it. So without further ado, let's start gluing up. Okay, so I shouldn't need much, just a little thin bead, like so. There we go, one done. Move on to the triangle. 2 on, looking pretty awesome. Let's go with the S. Before I stick it on, I just want to make sure it's the right orientation. Yep. And the beauty of the engraving is that it just makes positioning these letters so easy. So I've just gone for an engraving that's just deep enough so when the paint is sprayed, it doesn't get covered. It's lining up really nicely and covering those engravings as we go. Last one, just the E left. Finito. After all of that hard work, it's as simple as gluing those on, and we have a finished sign, 3D, looking really, really spectacular. So the black on the red on the edges looks actually like a shadow. So that's a bonus that those black edges didn't get sprayed. It's not as big as I was expecting it to be. I think I undersized it a little bit. I was expecting it to be a little bit longer and a little bit bigger, but I still absolutely love it. I'm not going to move it just yet. I'm going to leave it about an hour before I start touching it. So there we have it, guys. That is the end of our project. I am going to just risk it just to show you. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but that is the scale. It's pretty big and it's come out really, really well. It's come out lovely, actually. And it wasn't a great deal of work. The laser did most of it. The hardest part was just the sanding. That was the slowest part. And the spraying on the red letters, that took a while. If I'd rolled the letters, then it would have just been seconds. The spraying didn't take long either. So overall, I think it's a fantastic little sign that's going to live up the top. Behind me on the tool wall, you can't really see it right now because the seat's in the way. I do also have these. I made a couple of mistakes, and you're going to see in just a moment. I did say there was going to be a few bloopers and a few behind the scenes shots, but yeah, I'm going to use these, going to stick these randomly around the workshop. One could be like that on a wall, and then I can just use this one like so anywhere I like. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Here's the bloopers, and here is the behind the scenes footage. Take it easy. Have a great Friday. See you next Friday. Ciao for now. So if we want a little test run, let's see if we could just line them up and see if it all lines up as it should. And I can put my sign just there.